So I don't go out trash picking or anything to try and find push mowers, but this one kind of fell into place. It was sitting at a dumpster just outside of where I work when I was on break last night, so I went and picked it up, and appears to be okay. And I'm showing y'all exactly what it looked like when I saw it and put it in the put it in the car last night. And so I'll get it together, or I'll put the handle back on and get a little bit of better diagnosis. But first off, it's a Briggs & Stratton, or excuse me, a Craftsman mower with a 550 series Briggs & Stratton engine on it. Appears to be around 10 years old, maybe even less than that. Yep, the model number, or the serial number, says 2004. I think the deck is 2005, so a little over 10 years old. It's got the adjustable wheels on it. It's in decent shape. It's been sitting outside though. Not a lot of rust on it, if any. The only things I noticed right off the bat are that they taped the safety cable to the handle with electrical tape, so I'll just fix that. And that might be the reason why it wasn't running. It might need a carb diaphragm, but it's complete. So let me get the handle on it and do a little bit more diagnosis. And the oil is decently clean. It's not black by any means. There's not a ton of it in there, but again, I'm sitting on a little bit of a downslope. So, but I do know the mower has compression. I did turn the blade on it, and it seems to be okay. So let me do a little bit more diagnosis on this. So I got the handle on. It looks like somebody's done some work up here, because this isn't the right handle, and it turns out it's not the correct cable, because you can see where the old portion is of the cable. But check out what it does here. It actually runs as is, but it sounds like it's running really rich, so I probably have to put a carb diaphragm in it, which is to be expected, and then I'm gonna fix this stuff up here. Probably see if I can find another handle, even though what's on there works. I'm not really a fan of how it's on there. So yeah, for something that somebody threw away, it actually still ran, believe it or not. So let me do a little work to it, and we'll be in good shape. So I got it on its side. I actually took the engine cover off, and it looks like that it has been replaced with an older one. Don't know why. I think somebody's done a little bit of work on this thing, but yeah, they haven't really messed up the spring. It's leaking a little bit of gas somewhere. I don't know if it's from the tank or from the diaphragm. Probably from the diaphragm. And looking under here, I've got to sharpen the blade, but the blade's in decent shape. Got a bunch of grass under it just from use. I'll clean that out, and hopefully I'll have a good lawnmower here, so I'll do all that next. So I've got the oil changed, found a screw to go on the beauty cover here that was missing. Got the blade sharpened, cleaned it out from under the deck here. It's looking good, because this thing doesn't have hardly any rust in it, which is excellent. So the last thing I'm doing here is putting a carb kit in it, because it was running really rich, and this gasket is definitely dry, and it should be because of the age that it probably is. It's probably about 10 years old. So I've got a new one on here. I'm going to put that on here, put the carb back on the gas tank back on the mower, and we should be ready to give it a shot here in just a few. So everything's back on. Ended up fixing this up here. I had to drill a new hole into the handle to fit it so that the safety cable works properly, and it does now, and just fit it in the hole and put the zip tie on it to help it stay there. I did have to shorten the pull rope just a little bit. It works great as it is, but it's not quite long enough to reach up to where it was mounted on the handle to pull. But again, it's just fine as it is. Y'all can probably see how wet it is. We're supposed to get even more rain here this week, so the grass is growing like crazy and selling quite a few mowers right now. So let me put this down and see if we can get this thing to start and run for us. Running great. It's a nice little quiet mower too. Might speed it up just a touch more, but that should be all it needs. I'll get some pliers to do that, but I'll clean it up and give you all a final start. So I cleaned it up and I was letting it run, and for some reason there was some gas residue coming out from somewhere, and I couldn't figure out where. Everything in the carburetor looks sealed. The gas tank doesn't look cracked anywhere. Scraped some of that residue off, but then I took the gas cap off and I noticed that I'll show you these two different gas caps. So this is the one that came off of the Craftsman, and it doesn't have any sort of like paper filter or anything in it. This is a replacement that I've got under the house. So I'm going to put that on there and see if that is the problem. I am pretty sure that it is. If it was vibrating the fuel and just kind of causing it to leak onto the tank a little bit, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully we'll give this thing a good final start with no gas leaking. So it is all cleaned up. I haven't showed y'all what it looks like cleaned up yet. Turned out really nice for what it is. I was having that problem with the gas leaking, and I put the gas cap on it since it didn't have that little paper gasket inside it, so it needed one of those anyways. And then right there in the back, I think one of the two things happened. Either the gasket was not thick enough on the new diaphragm to seal it, or it wasn't adhering to a good surface. So I cleaned off the surface between the tank and the carburetor and actually doubled up on the gaskets for the carburetor. Put two of the thicker portion of the diaphragm on top of the thin portion that pulses up and down, and it's running good, and it seems to have stopped the gas leak, which is what I was looking for. And so this thing's ready to go now. Should be a nice little $60 mower for somebody. People do like Craftsman, so I'm sure this one will go quickly. That yard machines I posted last night went, after having it on Craigslist for 8 hours. I put it on there for $50, and right around 1 a.m. and somebody came about 9:30 and picked it up. So that was a quick turnaround on that one, and probably a quick turnaround on this one as well. Let me show you all that it starts and runs, and got me a good dumpster find mower here. Runs good. To be found in the trash, and I have to do this little work to it. Basically put a carb diaphragm in it and service it. Can't beat that, guys. It's nice. So it's nice to have another mower, because it's really starting to sell right now, because it's pretty wet, and we're going to be getting more rain this week. So looking, have a big weekend, and should have another mower update for y'all by the weekend, especially if I sell a little bit more. I've sold about 15 or 16 mowers right now so far this season, so they're going quickly, but still getting a few trade-ins, which is excellent. So again, it's a nice little Craftsman here. I think I got a trade-in coming pretty soon that I'll get up. I'm sure I'll be getting more throughout the weeks and months, so I'll keep y'all updated, and thank you for watching.